All right, so who knows how the 3 days is going to pan out. I'm definitely going for as light as possible, but taking sleeping stuff with me. So I've got a polycotton liner by Trekmates and a Tri-Nordic sleep mat, which is actually brilliant. So it's an inflatable sleep mat, and it weighs about 500 grams. So I've got this behind saddle Restrap bag, and it's actually amazing what I can fit in here. So those both go at the very bottom, and I doubt I'm going to sleep the first 24 hours. So it's really a case of just getting that out when I need it. What I've also got in this bag is a little first aid kit, and in there I've got some antiseptic wipes, paracetamol, dressings, and some cream with basically antibiotics in it in case I get a cut or something. Wow. This is a small wash kit. It's not really wash kit, but just some loo roll, an eye mask if I want to sleep during the day, toothpaste, toothbrush, and a little bit of soap, and a little flannel, which is just a bit of cut off towel basically. It goes in there too. I've got some leads here for charging lights, Garmin, phone, and everything that I've got with me. A little pair of pliers just in case I have to take the tubeless valve off my bike, which are obviously on pretty tight, if there's an emergency and I have to put an inner tube in. So just got a wee light pair of pliers there. The last thing that goes in here is my spare inner tube. I've got a handlebar bag from Rhinowalk, and this is where I keep all of my spares for fixing any punctures or loss of pressure in the tyres. Running tubeless, so all of the stuff is for tubeless. So firstly, I've got a Cycler Plus electric pump. That's going to be fully charged. It also doubles up as a battery in emergencies. I've got a chain splitter tool, 2 gas, and I've got another gas that's in the frame of my bike, tyre levers, gas nozzle. And here I've just got a tool which splits the valves if I need it, and an extra valve extension. Tubeless repair kit. So in here you get the little spanners that push the plugs through the tyre, the actual plugs themselves, a blade, and the glue that sits in there. So I've got extras of all of that also in the frame of my bike. Multi-tool, a piece of rubber with sticky back on it, which is for fixing sidewall rips or tears. And I'll just cut that into the size of the bit that I need at the time. And then a little spare bottle of sealant there. Again, these are things that are heavy, that I've chosen to run with because ultimately I want to finish. So while going fast is important, I also don't want to have something happen that just finishes my race that I could have fixed if I'd had the right stuff with me. So I've got 2 frame bags. One is a rear frame bag from Restrap, and one is a front frame bag from Rockbros. These are brilliant, these bags. And essentially they've got all of the things that I'm going to need immediately all the time on the ride. So my front frame bag, I put in my big power bank, and my phone goes in there. I've also got a bank card, and I've got some cash as well. Rear frame bag is where I put my food. So that's going to have all my little bars and gels, anything that I'm carrying with me at the time. It's obviously going to change as we go through the ride. What we've learned with some bags as well, and it kind of doesn't matter how well made they are, with the type of riding we're doing, they can just break. And again, that's a bit of a showstopper if one of your bags breaks. So what I've decided to do is take some spare Velcro straps with me. Here he is.
this is why we test our kit. Brand new. It literally just gave up out of K-Way.
Oh my
Look
God.
at that. It's just given away.
It's not a good advert, is it?
Well, if this had happened, I've got straps to repair it. But just goes to show, doesn't it? It's a 5-hour ride. That's not lasted.
Yeah.
5 hours.
Amazing. So this vest I'm obviously used to running with, so I'm used to wearing it and having things there ready to go. That's got nutrition in there. That's just for my keeping my straw there. I've got other bits and bobs, lip salve, sun cream, those kind of things in there. And in the rear pack, I've also got some warm kit. So I'm just going to talk through the lights that I've decided to run with. Rear light is just a standard rear light. I'm not too worried about that. It's only really necessary when we're on road. But the 2 front lights are really important. This is a Moon Vortex. What we've learned with riding at night is that 300 lumens is sufficient light. I've also got a very powerful head torch, which if there's a very technical section, I will just turn on momentarily, but 300 lumens will do it. The reason not to run with a higher lumen is that if you go up to 1,000 lumens, for example, it only lasts for an hour and a half and then you're scuppered. Whereas 300 lasted for 5 hours on a night ride. So I've got 2 lights which will do roughly the same. This one is Knong. Again, that's going to run, it does run a higher wattage so that you can turn them up to 1,000, but at 300, perfect for 4 or so hours in the dark. So with 2, I should get through a night ride, no problem. And obviously I can have one on charge while the other one's on. This is the Orbea Terra. I've got the small size frame. I'm running Parcours Alta wheels. And I've gone tubeless with the Pirelli Cintuaro RC gravel wheels. Usually running about 40 PSI, sometimes a little bit less. I've got Shimano GRX with 1134 at the back and 4831 at the front.
How aero am I?
Yeah, you're on a gravel bike.
Just want to highlight a couple of things that I'm doing differently to Caroline, and that's not right or wrong. It's just my own personal preferences. So, and you'll find when you're riding these type of events, you'll find little ways of figuring out what works best for you. So what I've done is I've got a slightly bigger bag on the back that holds 10 litres, and in the back of here it's just a canoe bag, and you stuff straight in, and then that just slides in and out into this Restrap bag. It's brilliant. They've really thought about this. It's really simple, and it's robust. My front bag is slightly bigger. That's 10 litres as well. That's just, I bought that from Intersport. It's a waterproof canoe bag, and all I've got in there is my sleeping system, the same as Caroline. So a liner, air mattress, and a puffer jacket, because it does get cold, and I if I do have to stop at night, which I don't plan to, at least I can stay warm. Now, the only other thing is that I'm doing is I've got my batteries running from here. I've got direct cables running to each torch, so I can recharge one when the other one runs out. I've got the same amount of battery life as Caroline. But what I've done as well in here is I've got my tools that I need if for a quick stop, and I've not gone for a multi-tool. I've gone for a set of Allen keys, the full complement of Allen keys. And then within my top tube storage system within there, I've got other bits and bobs that I may need, pliers, multi-tools, screwdriver, and in the back here I've got all my punch repair kit. Everything's just getting stuffed in there. Now the only other thing that I'm going to do, because I've got a spare phone, I'm going to run my spare phone on my cockpit of the bike in conjunction with my Garmin, because what you'll find as well is that sometimes your Garmin will be a little bit sluggish, or it'll get confused at a multi-junction and you'll end up going down the wrong way. Now the best thing in my experience is what I've done is I've stopped, opened up my mobile phone, gone into commute, and actually nav proper to get back onto the route. This gravel's perfect now, isn't it? Lovely. If, like me, you need prescription glasses, Right, so obviously during the day you'll need something just to protect your eyes. What I've also done is I've got a clear set as well for the evening and at night time. Don't forget, you still need eye protection during the night. So if you don't have prescription glasses, have clear ones. And what I've got here is my prescription glasses inside, so I'll be able to see. Other than that, it's all the same. I've got the same tactics as Caroline. I'm going to try and ride as long as I can without sleeping.
You want me to talk you through the route?
Yeah, for today, yeah.
So we're going to head out on the route from here.
The desert bit, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to go north up to here, look. And that's all up to there. That's all the route going out. These are minging, they've not been used for so long. I'm putting my tri-bars on, which seems a bit strange thing to do for a gravel race. And I remember watching Badlands films and looking at guys with tri-bars on and thinking, what are they doing? Like, that's just, there's no way I'd be able to get in my tri-bars on gravel. But turns out it's a good idea, because what happens when you ride long distances off-road is you get really sore hands and shoulders, and just the vibrations that are going through the rig all the time. You kind of long to get your hands off the handlebars, and I get pain through here. Mark gets pain in his hands because he's had hand surgery, and both of us have decided that even if it's only for short periods of time where you're on a flat piece of gravel or a nice piece of tarmac, if you can get the weight off your hands, it's going to make a massive difference.
You weigh a ton?
Yeah.
So much for going light.
So this is about 140k point on race day, and we've come out to jump on the rest of the desert loop. We're going to go through a couple of villages, first 20k, and just have a look if there's anything there, fountains or kiosks or anything. And then there's a long stretch with nothing basically, up until we hit a main road, and then there's a little village, but I think there's probably nothing there. So, but yeah, that's why we're doing it.
About 8 hours, I reckon, ish, if we just bite time, exclude all our stopping.
I found out yesterday's ride was very slow, so I'm a little bit worried that today's going to take us, well, a long time. Depends on the terrain. We've got 2,000 metres of elevation, so it's quite a lot.
I mean, that's the whole point of this ride though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Figure out how long it's going to take us, and actually if we've got enough water for this
Find out.
for this section. Well, I mean, we're doing this during the day, but on race day it'll be during the night, so there'll be less water.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
All goes to plan.
Okay.
All right, good. Wow, look at this. So we've come out into the desert. It's Monday before race day next Sunday morning. And we've decided to spend a couple of days up in Gorafe and just recce the big desert loop that comes through here. That's one of the areas where you can't get water. And also just to enjoy the scenery. Wow.
If you're a spaghetti western fan like me, you can understand why the Italians came out here to do all their filming for all the westerns. You could literally be in the middle of Arizona. So we worked out on sort of time appreciation and distance that this section we're going to be doing during the night. So we won't see the views. It's going to be a lot cooler. It's about 10 o'clock now and maybe 20 degrees. It's perfect temperature, but we're going to be riding this at night. So it's going to be quite a lot slower. Although the gravel's good. It's a few ruts, isn't there? Stuff that will catch you out at night, but it's okay.
Not too bad yet.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just trying to get your eye in on the feel for the gravel.
Yeah, in the bike.
Yeah, but at night it's going to be totally different. But at least we'll know we've done it, this section.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's nice gravel here now. A bit of a climb.
Yeah, every corner we turn there's another climb, isn't there? I've only done about 30k.
All sorted, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. That's it. I'm glad I'm doing that at night. Jesus. That had a sting in it. We've been climbing there for about 20 minutes. We've literally just come across from that feature right over there. We've dropped down, huge descent through the forest, like cedar forest, and then popped over a tiny river, actually still some water in it, and done this climb. Man, it stung right from the start. Caroline's just coming up now. She's climbing like a demon. Those were some serious switchbacks.
So you think that's the top? It ain't.
Right.
Another 1.8 kilometres to go.
Okay.
With some really steep bits. So we dropped down to that little saddle there. And then we're
And we climb again.
going. Some of those were steeper. Ooh.
We're going to be doing this at night, so that section there that Caroline's just gone out of sight, she'll pop out in a sec. We're going to be doing this at night, and I suspect there's going to be a lot of more descents like that and climbs like that that are just going to be borderline whether or not you jump off and push, either going up or down. Okay. Yeah.
Like that.
Looks like we've got a nice, long, easy descent through the valley now. Looks amazing.
How's that Calypso?
I reckon I'll probably eat. I'm going to go for 10 on this say, I reckon.
No.
Yeah.
You won't have enough time to stop to get 10.
No, I can ride and eat one of these.
No, I mean to actually find them to buy.
Well, they're in every cafe.
Yeah.
20 grams of carbs in this. Yeah,
Nice.
I've had a quick look.
And we just chatted to the guy, didn't we? And he told us that on Sunday he is actually open until,
1 o'clock.
well, till there's,
Masaminos.
he'll stay open as long as there's people here. So guys need to get themselves here. Oh,
It's cansado? No. Cansado.
I'm
Tired.
cansado. Are you cansado?
I'm alright. I feel alright.
How are the legs?
It feels great. So I reckon about 2 hours, I reckon. Yeah.
It depends how many more of those hills we have.
Well, we've got one now, haven't we?
There's also like a section now that looks like it's not a very beaten track.
Right.
Left and right.
Swing right over a cliff. Yeah, it does. Keep it.
That's me literally just got back to the car. A bit broken, I have to say. Those last couple of hours in that heat, it was a good lesson to know what it's going to be like out here in the desert. You can probably hear my voice is going a bit because of the dry heat and the dust that gets in your throat. And just epic amounts of climbing. And so the climbs that you just, you're on the limit because they're so steep. So you really are breathing really hard and breathing in that hot air. It's been a really amazing day, but I'm glad it's over, and I'm really glad that we tackled it before the race so that I have some sort of idea what to expect. Seems a bit strange coming to the finish before the race, but I might not make it, so I thought I'd better come and have a look. No, it's just logistics. So because we're both racing, Mark and I have got to figure out a way to get from the finish back to reality, back to normality after the race. So we've driven up here from Granada, where the race starts today, left our car here, and we're going to jump on our bikes and ride the 70k back to Granada, so that when we finish here, hopefully, our car is here with some stuff in it that we've got, like finish line bags.
That's us finished our little recce. We're at the finish. I think it's 1,800 metres. I'm glad I've seen it. This is really going to bite you on the ass at the finish. I'm already thinking about how I'm going to be feeling coming at this final climb. In the car, it took about maybe 20-25 minutes. It's going to take us about maybe 25-30 minutes to get down. But we've got everything sorted. The car's here, we've got a crash kit here, we've got our accommodation sorted, and now we're going to ride back to Granada. Getting nervous.